Yo, what is going on? Welcome into the Trash Cast. I think that's what I'm going to call it. I'm not sure if I'm sticking with it, but that is what I thought about for the last 5 minutes before I did this. But what up is? Welcome in, man. Oh, dude, here I got my topics. Bottom. Is it right there? Nope, nope. I don't know how to point at it. This way. This way. Yeah, put it in the corner. But yeah, so today is just kind of a test run, like a pilot program, just to see how I feel. Mostly it's just checking audio and just trying to see how I do with this, and probably gonna review it, see what I can improve on and where I can go with this. This is more of just like kind of like, I don't know if it'd be weekly, but it's basically how would you describe it? It's kind of just like my way to kind of release, get more of that get more of that like mental check, like that mental health, like check in and check out kind of stuff. Like, you gotta check in on yourself and you gotta release what's been stressing you and stuff like that. So this is kind of what it's for. Um, so for today, it's just to try it out, see how I feel about this. Kind of just trying something new. I did a bunch of updates to my stream in general. I think I changed the profile picture, but I did start actually looking at stuff. But we'll kind of dive into that later with the small streamer section. So for first off, welcome in. My name is Kazu Trash. Real name is Norman. But this is my channel. Usually I'm posting just gameplay of me trying out. Usually Apex is my main game to go to. Been dabbling on Valorant, but a lot of indie games. A lot of indie games that I like to play. So it's definitely been a journey on this one. Started this channel, God, maybe I didn't seriously dive into the channel until like March of last year, after I got help from like Izart. Yeah, you see the updated profile pic. But yeah, but this is kind of like a live podcast where the chat's involved and they can definitely jump in and say what they want. So it's kind of more of like a radio show, I guess you could say. But yeah, just trying to kind of expand my horizons, kind of reach out to different audiences. I wanted to pull more clips than just my average gameplay where I'd post it to like TikTok. So I'm kind of looking for something new, like a different avenue, reach out to like a broader audience, since technically games aren't like the only thing I do. I mean, they're majority of what I do, but just trying to expand my horizons. If I could go more about who I am, I'm a work from home person since the pandemic, and recently I just got the permanent position, so now I will be permanently work from home, which is a nice change. But to kind of know that, like, my life for 40 hours a week are going to be sitting in front of the computer doing work, which isn't much different from going to the office, right? But it still has that different kind of like mindset where I'm in my same exact spot where I would play games. The only thing different is that, I'm on the work laptop instead of my personal gaming PC, and just a different keyboard. So it's gonna be kind of different, to know that this is gonna be my life for the next few years. So trying to see where that's gonna go, but really excited that I get to stay remote. Cuts out the commute, gets to give me all that other time just for myself. Cutting out the commute already is what, 2 hours? 2 hours out of someone's day. That was my commute back in San Diego, and that's already a 10-hour, 11-hour workday, to be honest. And it's just like you only have enough time to wake up, get ready, go to work, come back home, eat dinner, and then you get like 2-3 hours to yourself before you should call it. I mean, obviously I used to, take the 4-hour naps before work because I would just stay up super late and just struggle at work the next day. But just something I'm trying to change, trying to get back to it. I mean, dude, during the pandemic, I will say, pandemic's going on 2 years strong now. Dude, when the pandemic started, I didn't know how to feel. Like, I think I was so lost where, it's kind of like the in and outs, the the repetitiveness of it, like how easy it was to just fall in the loop, because it's just like you sign on to work, and then the moment you turn off the laptop, then you're just back to doing nothing because you can't leave, you can't go anywhere. Like started learning how to cook like more complex meals during that time, which was fun. But then now I moved back up north, back with my family, because during the time, towards the end of the first year of the pandemic, so 2020, no, was it end of 2019? End of 2019, because the pandemic started what? March 2019? So yeah, so end of 2019, the condo I was staying at in San Diego, the owner wanted to sell it, obviously, because he was losing a lot of tenants and not making money. So my roommate and I got a notice the week of Christmas that we had to vacate by the end of January. So it's just like we barely got like a week and a month. And then at that point in time, it was, deciding whether I could go back and live and sign another lease with my roommate, or I move back home, save money on rent and everything, and then move out when supposedly we were going to be back in the office like 4 months later. I mean, the hard part about saying that I was going to leave San Diego for me was definitely, independence, right? Like just being on your own, not having to adhere to anything, like you said, everything else yourself. But then I'm paying for a lease or a situation that I might not be happy with, and I'll be stuck for a year, or move back to my parents' house. And then I have the option to move and do whatever I want from there. Dude, you got the same floor lamp at the corner of your TV? Dude, yeah. Yep. It works, man. Amazon. And 4 months later turned to 2 years later. Dude, it really did, It really did. And, there was a lot of changes that happened too, man. Like, I became from extroverted to super introverted to the point where it's just like, hanging out with friends on a night would drain me, and I'd avoid going out for like a month. So it's definitely changed a lot of like even just like my mentality towards like outings and everything, and like something that like I've been trying to work on, because I kind of don't like that feeling. I do not mind being at home. I do not mind just doing nothing, but I do want to be more active about like, actually going out and, being social again. Is it safe? On and off, right? Because depends on the variant that we're dealing with. What is it called? Like Omicron? That just happened, like it's highly contagious. I mean, luckily, knock on wood, I didn't get it, but a lot of my friends did, a lot of my family did. So yeah, I mean, we're still social online, true is, but it's still not the same, man. Like, it doesn't feel the same for me. Acoustic, thank you for the lurk, man. But getting human interaction is still very important. Yeah, man. I mean, like, and it's a different thing, right? Because, like, when we go online, like, I feel like, there's a difference in conversation, right? Because obviously we're just more focused on whatever game we're playing or whatever we're doing. But then, like, when you're just, like, physically talking to each other, like, a lot more topics seem to just kind of, like, manifest and come up. Maybe it's just because of the situation we're in, or maybe the activity we're doing, that it kind of gets us off and away from, us doing this all the time. But to me, I'm like, that's something that I kind of wanted to get back to, because I feel like I don't have much to say outside of my daily life. Like, if someone were to ask me, like, hey, what'd you do yesterday? I'd be like, well, I got off work, and then I played Apex for, like, 2 hours, and then I moved to Valorant for, like, a death match, and bought a skin. So, it's like, I don't have much to say, so yeah, definitely trying to get out. But I mean, a big part of it too was the amount of weight I put on during the first year of the pandemic. I think I put on like 40 pounds, man. I was down at 204 when the pandemic started, because I was actively going to like the workouts that were provided at work, which was great. It was like a mini TRX class that, was offered during lunch, and it was paid lunch. So we wouldn't have to clock out to participate. We'd be able to do it on the clock. So we got a good hour worth of working out at work 3 times a week. And that was great. That kept me with how bad my diet was of like, hitting breweries, trying all the fatty foods, dude, getting ramen from a place called Menu Ultra out there. Oh man, I would go there weekly. It was like my ritual. was trying to live out like my Japanese salaryman life out there, where I'd be like, "Oh, I'm so tired from work. I'm gonna go get ramen and a beer." And dude, it was amazing. I mean, that was like soul food for me, because ramen is my absolute favorite food. I will say, like, I don't think I'll ever get tired of eating ramen. But yeah, it was just like, once we got locked in, dude, like all I did was order like pizza, like Popeyes, anything that we could find. And like eventually the ramen place ended up doing their ramen to go, because before they were strictly, not to go, because it's one of those Japanese salaryman life, yeah. It was like one of those things where, it's intended to be enjoyed at the time and place because of the time and temperature it takes if you were to take it home, right? Like it changes the flavors, and it's not what the chefs have, pretty much procured for you to have. Oh, hey, LMC, welcome in. Hi, Jay. Well, this is the pilot episode for the Trash Cast. If you're ever wondering, this is just for me to figure out, see how I feel about this. But yeah, it's so like when the ramen place started offering it, like it was great, but then at the same time, it's like I'm ordering it to be delivered since I can't go out due to the pandemic. But I'm like, usually this meal would cost me like $25, $30, right? And then ordering it through DoorDash, like, and ordering for my roommate, I was like, bro, I'm paying $95 to $100 with delivery fees and tipping. And I'm like, holy crap, dude. Like, I was getting beer and everything else, like, when I was there. And, like, now I'm just getting the straight ramen bowls. And I'm like, this shit expensive. Oh, what up? So what are we talking about? So I'm just trying to do, like, an intro, since it's like the pilot episode. So, I'm kind of on the about me section already, just talking about like why I'm trying this and what I'm trying to get through out of this. But yeah, I'm just kind of dropping info about who I am, and then who I am as a streamer, So I'm just kind of talking about like the beginning of the pandemic and how it changed me from being extroverted to introverted, highly introverted, actually. And I was just talking about my weight gain, which was leading to the point of, dude, I went to my sister's wedding in July last year. Need the list to be bigger. That said about no. Oh yeah. I mean, this is just for me as the notes. I honestly don't even need to have it up on the thing because I'm just using like an online typewriter, so I can type something out just so I have a list to stare at, so I don't get too far off topic. But I'll adjust that later. All part of the learning process here. But yeah, so my big realization that I needed to, really change everything that was happening was that, dude, I was 245. We went to Disney World in July of 2020, where like, traveling was somewhat feasible. So, we made it from California to Florida, and, dude, I had to put on the suit, and when I got those pictures back from the professional photographer, my God, I wanted to burn them all. Like, I hated every photo I was in because I saw, like, just how round I was, dude, in general. And, like, dude, that suit looked like it was trying to breathe. Like, it was looking like it was getting stretched, like it was in yoga class or something, man. It was kind of rough. So I was just like, yo, something needs to change. But the problem was, like, still during the time, I'm still in this, like, pandemic kind of mindset where I'm just like, dude, I don't want to do anything. Like, obviously I don't feel good about working out at home, because how easy is it to like turn on like a YouTube video, and then you're gonna try and prop your phone up so you can follow along, and then like you're just sitting at home and then you're like struggling, and immediately you're just like, I could literally just turn this off and walk away and I'm not losing anything because I didn't pay for anything. And it's like I didn't have to do anything to worry about this. But, that's how easy it is that I can't get motivated to do anything at home. Like the home gym stuff, it just doesn't work for me. Like it doesn't feel like I'm in a different place where I can actually, go and do something. And LMC, thank you for the host. Appreciate you. Send me your workouts. Gotta get back to working out. Yeah, dude, I'll try and figure it out. I got a nice 12-week program. It's 5 days a week, man. That's what I'm doing now. Not too hard, but I mean, it does require weights. But I mean, I think if you could do it at home, I think you could still do these things at home. But yeah. Oh man, kind of forgot where I was at. Yeah, so that mindset just, was just not there for me. So, come what, the last few months of last year, I'm sitting there and I'm just like still like agonizing, being like, dude, I need to lose weight, I need to do this. And I still wasn't doing anything about it because I was like, well, I don't feel safe going to the gym yet. I mean, and then I was like, the holidays are coming, and it's just like I can't be trying to put myself on some kind of diet because it's just not gonna, go well. Like the moment like Thanksgiving starts, dude, it's downhill from there for me. And then like my birthday's in the end of August, so it's like you go July to August, bro. I'm treating myself out. I'm going out for like all these other things, enjoying all the food I can, because like eating good food and like trying new places was like my biggest passion. It's the reason why I moved to San Diego, to be honest. Like, because I wanted to go to a different city. I wanted to try all these things. I want to just live in like that vibe. Like and San Diego was perfect. I love San Diego. Like, would I ever move back there? Yeah, I would. Um, if I ever met someone and we were trying to have a family, I'd ask them if they would be willing to move to San Diego. I mean, the biggest con, right, is that there's no family that I have out there. So not being around family is like, the biggest con for me. Like the daily life would be great, but then not being close or not being within easy reach towards my family is like a huge thing that like stops me from leaving again. Because I was in San Diego for 7 years, and my nieces grew up all without me, and there are a bunch of things going on. But yeah, it was just one of those things that made me realize that like, do I go out and like, live my life during my quote unquote prime now to go do these things, but then my parents are starting to go towards like the decline. So it's just like, which way do we look at it? It's just like our parents were there for us when we were young, then we flew off on our own, and then we only come back like when they're struggling. It's just like, I don't want to do that. I want to make sure I enjoy my time while they're here and healthy and do all those things. Like, for instance, there's a bunch of vacations, right, that you would want to go on when you're younger, but you wouldn't do it when you're older. Like, you wouldn't go cliff diving at like 60 per se. But I mean, if I was healthy enough, would I? Hell yeah, I would. But everybody has their own different ways of looking at it and where they prioritize it. So for me, it's just like, being able to do these activities with my parents while they're like healthy still and like active, then I'd rather be doing that now, enjoying these times, and realize that like, my time to do these things, I can still do it all at one time. Just got to take time to divide it up. You spend time with the family, you spend time for yourself. And I think that was the hardest thing for me before, is because I would only just say yes. I never planned anything for myself, so I would just say yes to whoever said, hey, I got a plan. I'd be like, yes, I'm down. And that was something that I worked on a lot, pretty much towards the end of San Diego, because I was just saying yes to everything. And I realized that like I was getting burnt out because I never really did anything for me personally that made me happy. And then all like the underlying factor for me in there was honestly like being homesick. So that was kind of like a weird trip for me. But yeah, coming back home, realizing that like, family is where like my priorities are at, like spending time with my family, enjoying the time we got right now. And then, time with friends, like doing all that and just learning how to kind of like give myself time for myself outside of those things. Because if I don't ever just take a step back and it's like, hey, some days like I'm just gonna be like, I just want to sit back and play games, and I don't want to do anything, like that's my me time. And then that's kind of where streaming kind of came in, because it was almost like, well, this would be a good way for me to be able to feel like I'm just centered on doing things for myself, but then I can meet new people and like other people through this, because hell, we're in a pandemic. I'm not going anywhere new, besides being in my room. I'm like, dude, I sleep right here, I work right here, and I go to the bathroom there. Outside of that, I'm like, I'm not gonna meet anybody new. I don't leave my house. So yeah, so like streaming was a nice way to kind of open me up to become more active. And then from there, it's just like, as I became more active in streaming, it pushed me to realize that like I want to do more outside of streaming, in the way that I want I want to be more active. I was like, dude, my dad has been going golf throughout this whole pandemic and that's just him doing his stuff. And he goes out, he has his golf friends, man, they go 4 times a week. And I'm like, damn, I need to do something outside of the house because my dad's way more active than me. And then like my mom goes to my sister's house pretty often. So it's just like she gets out of the house and I'm like, dude, I never leave the house. Like I think last year I filled up my tank for my car like a total of like 10 times. I did not drive enough that it required me to actually put in gas in my car. And I was just like, yeah, that needs to change. So then on top of me feeling fat, on top of me feeling stuck in this house, you know, it all brought about the change being like, I need to just do more. So by the end of the year, after I got like all my like cravings and picking out on everything done, I had to realize that like what my goal was to lose weight, right? And like, yeah, diet's a huge part of it, but also I was like, I feel better when I'm active, and by being active means I have to go to a gym. I have to get out. So what kind of spurred me on is like, dude, I was in the workout phase maybe like 4 years ago. I was like heavy on keto, and then I was working out like every day. I signed up for Orange Theory Fitness. I don't know if you guys have heard of that before, but they have like classes you kind of like go into, and they give you like a treadmill, a rowboat, like a rower, and then weights, and then like you rotate between that, and they have like a whole set every time. But yeah, but let me take a quick pause right here. Let's see. I used to run a lot, but I'm extremely flat-footed, so I have some serious back pain issues. Oh, dude, yeah, you should go to Roadrunner or like those like professional like shoe places. They measure it out and they tell you which shoe is perfect for you, because I'm fairly flat-footed, but with the right shoes, man, you get no back pain out of it. And then your reviews are great. Your food palette is far more refined than mine as well as your gaming knowledge when it comes to different genres. Oh, dude, appreciate that, man. I mean, I think it's just because, you know, I had all the time to just sit and try and like articulate everything I want to say about either food or games. But dude, I will tell you, okay, so I'm going on a tangent here, but fuck it, this is part of me too. If I ever ask you if you tell me that, hey, there's food that you need to try, and for instance, it's like barbecue ribs, I'm gonna ask you, well, what makes these ribs any different from any of the other ribs that, you know, I would get? And if you just tell me that, like, no, dude, like, they're just really good, I'm like, bro, you need to give me details. You got to tell me, is it fall off the bone? What kind of seasoning is it? What style is it? Because you can't tell me to compare like a Memphis barbecue to a Texas barbecue. Like, those are two different things completely. So it's like they're in the same world, but like they're two different styles. You know, it's like comparing garlic parmesan wings to lemon pepper wings. Like, they're two different flavors. Like, everybody does garlic parmesan, everybody does lemon pepper, but what sets them apart from the other ones that do the same, you know, the same dish? Like, what makes it that much better? And that's the details that I look for, like when we're eating food or like when we're trying places. Because then, you know, telling me like, hey, a hamburger is good, I'm like, well, all hamburgers are good to me for the most part, but then, you know, you got to tell me what sets it apart. Was it the bread? Was it the way that the meat was cooked? Was it a smash burger that made it better? Like, what kind of cheese were they using? Like, were the toppings overloaded? Like, was it balanced? Like, what kind of sauce did they have on it? So yeah, I would say that, yes, opened up your experience, and now that you've had a lot and exploring things and in what you are more interested in, dude, very true. Yeah, because I mean, jumping into the streaming world and just getting online to do anything like this, like, was a huge leap for me, because usually I'm just chilling. Like, I was just learning how to enjoy watching people who stream, and that was because Real Kai Ken, and he was doing that through Facebook. Like, he initially just asked, you know, just to give a like and show some support, but, you know, as I was watching, I was like, oh man, that looks pretty fun and it's pretty interesting. And then joining him in that, I was like, it's kind of interesting, because then you have an audience and you're kind of interacting with them as like you're playing, and, you know, it's like, it's almost like you're playing a game in like a room full of people, and then like they're just out there like just hanging out with you and talking to you while you're playing. And that seems pretty legit. Yeah, I think I need to go to those specialty shoe places for running. Dude, Nikes are not the way to go, man. I tried so hard to make the Nikes work when I first started running too, man. But they're too narrow for me. My feet are somewhat wide. They're not like in the wide foot category, but they're wide enough that the Nikes are just way too narrow. And then the type of supports that they have, it's just like, it just doesn't fit, man. I need, I forgot what it is, but yeah, if you go to a place like Roadrunner, when you run on the treadmill during your test, you have to do it barefoot because then they record your ankles and your feet. They'll slow it down and then you can see if your ankles roll out, and that's what causes a lot of pain because it's almost like your foot like hits and it like rolls instead of like, you know, just landing flat. It's like flat, but it's like turning and twisting, and then it just adds a lot of like twist into your back. And then yeah, man, if you get the right support for your ankles, like it changes everything. We all kind of started streaming on our own during the same time. I didn't know RKK was streaming on Facebook too, but I have no idea how we got into our current circle. Yeah, you know, I'm trying to think about that too, and I'm like, I don't remember how we started talking again because we hadn't talked in like years. Like not since like, yo, some of the house parties I was throwing, man. But yeah, now that I think about it, because like RKK was doing Facebook, and then I started on Twitch, and then dude, I didn't know about Discord. I didn't know about anything online. And then I was like playing Apex, and then I don't even know where I met Brian, to be honest. Because it feels like either you introduced me to Brian, which I'm still trying to remember. I'm like, how did we start talking? Unless you jumped into Facebook one time and in the chat, and then we just started saying what's up. Oddly enough, Nikes are the only thing that makes my feet feel okay, and I'm flat-footed. I've tried specialty insoles; they hurt worse. That's interesting, Jay. Yeah, it just doesn't. It doesn't work for me. Like I don't get the specialty soles. I just get the I get the type of shoe that I'm using. So I have support shoes. Yeah, my foot rolls for sure. I've noticed when I was running. Yeah, we haven't talked in years. Man, shit. That is what it is. Yeah, dude. I think it was just RKK Facebook chat, and then we were talking about like games, and then I think we just jumped into Apex, and then you were playing with Brian a lot, so then I ended up playing with you guys, and then from there, that's kind of like where we were just started, and then from there, yeah, dude, it just took off, and then you were teaching me how to set up everything and everything that I got set up now, for real though. but yeah, anyways, guys, just going back into, you know, why I started working out is personally, I want to feel better, you know, because I felt super like lethargic, like, you know, going out and like hanging out, dude. Another realization was that we went to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom for my niece, you know, for her birthday, because we weren't all going to make it to Disneyland. It's still too crazy to get there with all this stuff, and it's super expensive. So we settled with just Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, and to be honest, it was a lot of fun. We got my cousins out there too, and we're all hanging out with our niece for her birthday. But then, dude, we only stayed at the park from 2 to 9. 7 hours of just walking and standing, and your boy was sore and like bedridden the next day. And I was just like, yeah, I really need to do something about my health, because if I can't stand walking around for 7 hours at a theme park where we're just not even really walking, like we're standing in line, I was like, I need to do something about that. So I went ahead and ended up biting the bullet. I signed up for a gym. It's called City Sports out here, and I will say it's a very nicely like updated gym compared to like what I was signed up for before. And dude, ever since I got into it, I pulled one of the workout plans I had from years back, and it's like a 12-week advanced fat loss program, and it's all weightlifting. And I will tell you that I told myself that I only like working out in the morning, which I really do, because the gym is empty. I can get in, get my workout in, and then go back home. I'll have time for breakfast. I'll be on time for work, get my shower in, and I'm just good to go. And then guess what happens? The moment I'm off of work, I don't have to worry about anything, because I'm just in it. Like, I accomplished everything I needed to do that day. So that's been my routine lately, but, you know, it cuts down my stream time, you know, to like end at like 9 o'clock more or less, You know, because 9 o'clock I have to basically like turn everything off and just try and go to sleep because I have like a 4:45 a.m. like wake up call to try and get up, get out, and then go work out. So it's just one of those things that, that is a major change, and I'm on week 3 currently. I feel good. I mean, I will tell you guys, when I started, I was at like 233, and then currently I'm sitting at 220. So keeping up the diet, making sure not to cheat too much. Like I'll cheat on the weekends, obviously, but even then, it's still like cutting down the portions. It doesn't matter what I eat at this point because I'm not strict about that yet. But I just make sure that I actually sit there and I portion how much I'm ingesting, because you can go off and have fun and eat whatever you want. It's just, I mean, if you're hitting your calorie goal that you need for the day, then you're kind of just writing it out. So that's pretty much where I'm at with that. But yeah, but I think that's pretty much it about me. I mean, moving on to being a small streamer. I'll tell you guys, like, it's kind of mentally challenging, trying to. I got G1, but I am G3 on my alt account. Good stuff, bro. It's all good, man. Yeah, being a small streamer, man, it's kind of like a hard, like, mental challenge, to be honest. Because what got me initially, it was always like the view count, right? Like, you're always kind of worried about like, oh, do I have enough views? Do I have enough people like that care to see what I'm doing? Is my content good enough? And there's a lot of insecurity that comes out with it. But the problem is that, not problem, but the thing about it is that, you got to just kind of keep pushing through, because what you're putting out there is your personal, like your personality, what you want to present, what you want to do with it, right? And then I think getting through that for me, like just trying to figure it out, like, and honestly, I'll tell you right now, I think I just figured it out. Like, I don't think I really had it down. I called myself a variety streamer, but then I looked at like all my past stuff and I was like, well, the only thing I really had recorded was Apex, like, and then like started to record Valorant stuff. But then I was like, I'm not really like a huge Apex like streamer though, because I'm not there to chase ranks online all the time and do that. It's like, do I like the game? Like, yeah, I do a lot, but it's just like, I don't think that's like what I want to concentrate every time. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go for a stream, I'm just gonna play Apex. Like, I can't, like, it'll still be part of the rotation, but then like, dude, playing the indie games, like playing these like off brand like little games that small developers have made, to me that's really interesting. Like, even if they're just story based narratives and quick puzzles, I find them a lot more interesting for me personally. And that's more of what I want to show, because I would buy these games and just play them on my own. Like, nobody knew that I would be going off into these games and just playing them. I think now they could, because of Steam and like being Steam friends. Like, they'll see whatever game I load up. But yeah, it was just like one of those things that I realized those indie games are great, man. Yeah, man. Like, I find a lot of fun with it. So yeah, I think that's like more of like my brand. So what I had to do was like, figure out like, well, obviously the Twitch VODs, they only stay up for like a week or two or something like that. And then I was like, well, I got to create a YouTube channel. And I was like, damn, I didn't think I was actually going to go this far into it. It's like, creating a YouTube channel for it just to have like the videos published and saved. Quick, fast, and such interesting stories. Love the indie games. Those nights where it was just us was so fun to watch. Yeah. And hey, I don't know if you remember her, but I think she stopped streaming. But if you remember Shemko, that was from me playing that one indie game that I can't remember anymore. Like, she ended up joining the chat because, she just was like, oh my God, I love this game. And it was crazy because then after that, she was super chill. And yeah, I think she's just like off doing more things now. She took a lot of jobs that required travel, so she was never like consistently streaming at that point. Yeah. Where does toothpaste and a toothbrush meet? Outside the tube. Okay. Oh, actually, yeah, that's true. What up, Liam from Belgium? Welcome in. How you doing today, man? You have made it into my test podcast stream, basically. So welcome in. Hope you enjoy the stay here. Yeah, so going into indie games, I think that's really where I want to push it, and getting that YouTube account created was a thing. The first game I did was Horizon Zero Dawn, and that ended up being like an 11-part series. But it was kind of fun because I got to rewatch those videos and really see, where were like the down points, where was I really lacking in, like, being entertaining while I go through this playthrough. And the first 7, I was like, damn, I don't say a word for like 40 minutes. And I'm like, that's not the fun about it, Like, there's nothing fun about that, like, where I'm just quiet for 40 minutes at a time, where I'll just run the map and chase down side quests. It's like I could at least talk about, like, what I'm thinking as I'm doing these things, make it a little bit more interesting. So it was a lot that I learned from just having that YouTube channel, being able to rewatch, like, these videos. And honestly, this is going to be added to a YouTube playlist also, just like, like a podcast list. I don't know how frequent I will be doing this in general, though, because I just haven't figured it out. I guess I'm going to come back, watch this, see how I feel about it. But, I really don't mind it. It's kind of nice to just chill and get everything off my chest and, clear my head a little bit by just talking about all these things. But yeah, I mean, being a small streamer, I was like, for anybody else that's going through it, yeah, just keep going. Stick to your content. Make sure you stay consistent with who you are and what you want to present to everybody. So it's one of those things that what's it called? It's one of those things that, you got to find what you're passionate about presenting, right? Like for me, I just recently realized that, doing indie game playthroughs is my thing. So I have a bunch more to get through that I can get the full playthrough on, and then just focus that stream on that. And then, if I want to jump onto Apex, I was like, I could do that offline. I'll do some online Apex or Valorant, like when I do like rank grinding or something. But for the most part, I think I'll just kind of stick to, staying with my dominantly indie game kind of streams. So figuring out a schedule for myself and then figuring out consistency, I think that'll be my next goal. But then, moving into the goals, it's like, I started a TikTok channel, but my only clips on there are of Apex. So it's one of those things that I'm like, now I need to, go back to my VODs and be like, damn, let me pull clips from, clips of different games, because that's actually where I wanted to bring my focus to from my channel in like YouTube and TikTok and all that. It's like, do I hope I ever get cracked Apex highlights? Yes. Do I ever hope I can record an ace in Valorant? Yes. But, it's one of those things. Your first random podcast is really good. Oh, dude, appreciate you, man. I have to start over with the podcast. I lost the VODs. Oh no, Jay. Oh no. Weekly to bi-weekly would be cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking like bi-weekly to start. I think if it kind of like gains traction to where I feel comfortable and I'm starting to get used to finding topics and discussion points, then I'd probably be more willing to do it weekly. But for now, I'm kind of go with bi-weekly, like trash cast. I can't even say my own title. Wow. The trash cast, where we take out the garbage on Thursdays or something. I don't know, man. Garbage day is Thursday, apparently. Trash day is Thursday. New chair sim. Jay brings up good stuff. The simulator streams are great. Need to bring those back. Yeah, man. You're right. I do have a bunch of sims too that I just never played in front of anybody else. I just been playing them on the side. But yeah, I'll definitely bring some of those back. I mean, the only thing with like the sim games is like, there's not really an end to most of them. So I mean, I guess just showcasing it for like an hour or something would be pretty cool. That super cringe dating game. Oh yeah. I got another dating game that I wanted to restart because I was faded when I tried it. So I'm going back to the Monte Solo that I bought drunkenly and played, which I think it was supposed to be super interesting. So I'm going to go back to that. And that one doesn't seem as cringe as Super Seducer. Thank God. So it seems more of a comedy. But yeah, but I mean, just for like goals, like I got to set myself short-term goals. So I set up the TikTok, I set up the YouTube, I set up the Twitter. But even like the Twitter is my actual personal handle, and I don't think I'll create a second account just to do my gaming name. But I'll probably just stick to my personal Twitter because I really don't care to really be on Twitter that much. But yeah. And then I did just set up an IG account. But the thing with like IG is like what I kind of hate is I don't know. Maybe I just don't like the format of Instagram anymore, but those posts are easier to kind of come across with the algorithm and stuff. So I'll just kind of maintain it. I don't think I'm going to do much with it, to be honest. I'll probably just leave it there. I mean, I linked it all to my profile now, but even then, like, I think the only post there is like my new profile pic, and that's about it. Content wise, you have a good assortment: podcasts, indie games for ending streams, or even indie games for full stream, and simulator streams. It's pretty good content for a certain amount of days. Very true, man. You're right, it is. Gotta follow you on TikTok. Yeah, Jay, dude, I think my TikTok name. So I created the first account, and then I locked myself out. So now I can't get the username back. And then I was just like, dude, I think I added an extra G on it because I was like, dude, I gotta make another account. So I made another account, and now I can't figure out how to unlock the first one, so I have a double G. Yeah, I did the same for Twitch. Yeah, I can't get my Izzard account back. Oh no, dude. Yeah, I turned into Dark A over here. Dude, Jay, you should see our team Light. Okay, the Light team comes in and takes L's, but we hand out knocks, and then we take L's. But we do it with no shields, no helmets, no backpacks. We just run in. But yeah, so I mean, I have those like other platforms set up, so like I guess just expanding it. I need to learn how to freaking navigate TikTok, to be honest, because I've used a couple apps to like convert the clips, and I'm just like, you can convert the clips, but then man, adding all the effects through TikTok, that is a process I'm gonna have to learn. Yeah, so it's just one of those things that I'm like, I'm gonna learn it. You know, hopefully get a little bit more creative with it and like learn how to people duet stuff and do all those like transitions and everything. God, I'm so old that I have to go through all this. Like, you know what, the young kids, they already pick it up, right? They just go in, they're like, oh, this is how you do this. Maybe I'll talk to my niece, she knows how to do transitions. Like, yeah, but I'll kind of like look into it, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, but I mean, short-term goal, work on the TikTok, you know, get more exposure out there. TikTok is the hottest place to go get exposed, just because if you run across that algorithm, you drop the right hashtags, or you'll be on so many people's For You page. You have that all set up, you got it linked back to your Twitch account over here. One of those things go viral, and then next thing you know, man, like you could have like a bigger audience than you ever thought you would. Dude, the no shields and helmet fights are hella fun. Helps me learn how to run, man. Dude, it does. It really does. Me and you both. We need a beatbox and blueberry TikTok vid. Yeah, we do. We really do. That's literally how my life is. That's like our life in Apex right there. But yeah, yeah, so this is kind of just it. You know, I just wanted to get out there, try this out, see how this is going. I'll go back and review this, see what I can improve on. Obviously, big one is fixing the list so you guys can actually view it. I'll have to figure out a different medium that I can throw it up on. This is just a free online typewriter thing, so maybe if my background wasn't so freaking white, maybe it would be easier to read, or maybe it just needs to be bigger. Who knows? We'll figure it out one day. It's a learning process. We're all out here to learn. But thank you guys very much for coming in and stopping by. This has basically been the Trash Cast pilot episode. So, you need to create using OBS, the text box. I thought about it. I don't like how it looks. I tried it and I was like, nah. There's too much to go in to change fonts and everything, so I'll look into that later. But who knows? That might be the next wave. But yeah, but thank you guys for coming in, hanging out, checking out this pilot. I'll try and do this again in about, we're doing bi-weekly, so what, 2 weeks from now? So very more from that, maybe like a progress update to see if I've really either one continued my workout goals or two if I've actually tried to learn how to do TikTok correctly. But other than that, I hope you guys all have a good night, a good day, good morning, wherever you're at. And you guys all take it easy. You guys have a good night. I will catch y'all later. Peace.